is 2012. The state of the United States economy? Well, if I was to draw a picture of it, it would probably look like the public toilet of a gas station. And what is that rust shaped like in the bottom of that public toilet bowl? Look at that. It's a mitten with a triangular arrow rabbit thingy on top of it. Or the state of Michigan. Within the state of Michigan, there have been particular cities that have had some financial troubles, worse than others. But don't worry, the state of Michigan has a shining knight on a white horse coming in to save you. And while you don't have to call it Daddy, you can call it the Emergency Financial Manager. We're going to have a discussion about this. This is a very serious issue. Now, there have been some myths and misinformation being conveyed about exactly what the Emergency Financial Manager can and can't do. Let's look at some of those questions and get into the answers, shall we? Excellent. Contrary to popular belief, the governor doesn't just simply assign an EFM like a baron to your city. No, before he assigns that baron, he has a very complicated multi-step process, where they look at your city's finances and they figure out just how deep in that dirty, nasty gas station public toilet your bank account really is. The Emergency Financial Manager can't just do whatever he wants. Oh no. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants it. An emergency financial manager is not just placed there in order to undermine your democratic right to have people represent you in your local cities the way you want to be represented and to do the things you want to do. His powers aren't nearly that broad. Instead, all the EFM can do are a few paltry things, like dissolve your local unit of government. They can dismiss your public elected officials, but they can only do that if they don't cooperate with exactly what the EFM says. It's kind of like the game Simon Says, but in this case it's more like Snyder Says. And I don't know about you, but I love that game. It's very much fun. All this talk about democracy being destroyed by EFM is ridiculous. If you're a city council that's under the receivership of an EFM, you're allowed to do plenty of things. For example, your city council could call a meeting to order. It could approve minutes of a previous meeting and adjourn the meeting. I don't know about you, but that's 3 whole things they're allowed to do. As for all the rest of the stuff that your city council would normally do, well, they're allowed to do that too, as long as they get the express written permission of the EFM on a golden scroll in triplicate. See that? That's democracy in action. As it turns out, that is a ridiculous fabrication, misinformation campaign by people who don't understand how great the EFM is. The Emergency Financial Manager can't just sell things like public parks your city holds out from under you to a private entity. No, my friends. They actually have to go to the State Treasurer in order to get permission to sell that to a private company out from under you. That's one entire extra person involved in the process. Over 100% more government. You can't just say the EFM's a dictator now. It takes 2 people to sell your public park out from under you. You're welcome. So now let's go through a summary of what we've learned today. Get some of those myths and terrible pieces of misinformation out. In 1990, Governor Jim Blanchard and the state of Michigan legislature created the Emergency Financial Manager Law as a point person from the state government to help your city or town avoid a municipal bankruptcy when it was in trouble. However, in 2011, Governor Rick Snyder and the state of Michigan legislature decided that they were going to redesign the Emergency Financial Manager Law to bring something more benevolent and democratic to your city and really help it out of its financial dire straits. He can put a person in there, but sometimes a person just isn't enough. That's fine. He can also put a corporate person in charge of your city. Can you imagine how great it would be if a corporate person were to take over the city of Detroit? how prosperous they could become with the help of an emergency financial manager. Now, for some of you that are concerned about the undemocratic issues with an emergency financial manager and what he can do, you can completely relax. As it turns out, coincidentally, Governor Rick Snyder and the state of Michigan legislature are both Republican. And because of that, well, we all know Republicans are about small, limited government staying off your backs. And what's more small and limited in government than having only one person tell your entire city what to do and when to do it? Thank you for your time. This has been a very serious